Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host, Jared.
And I'm drunk. I'm Edwina.
Really? Okay. Wasn't expecting that one. If you're listening to this, I'm so out of whack now. I don't know what I'm doing. You listen to this. It's a Once More We're Feeling series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Today, Eddie, we're doing some shots and episode 6, season 6, episode 12, Doublemeat Palace. This episode first aired January 29th, 2002, written by Jane Espenson and directed by Nick Marr. Over to you, Eddie.
Just a reminder, this is a full spoiler podcast.
Full spoilers.
I am a huge fan, but Jared has never watched the series all the way through, and I'm trying to convince him it's worth his time.
Oh, it's definitely worth my time. Yeah. So this is a filler episode or back to the Monster of the Week episode.
Well,
I did notice on IMDb it's one of the lowest rating episodes of the season.
Look, I will say, I think this episode is probably the worst episode of season 6.
Okay.
Some people will actually argue it's one of the worst episodes of the entire series.
Jesus. Gut punch.
Giles, make us stop.
Some will argue the most skippable episode, but I actually think this episode is very on point for the overall arcing theme of the season.
Okay. All right. Which is?
That life is the big bad, pretty much. Like life, life isn't always, it's that time frame between being a teenager to becoming an adult isn't always it's not always an easy task,
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, she's not a teenager, but...
Well, she's moving from being a teenager to an adult. That's what I said. I didn't say she was a teenager. I said it's that transition period of moving from being a teenager to an adult. Yeah, it
sucks. Have to grow up. Like me.
And yes, and, having these responsibilities. Like, she already had a lot of responsibilities, and then... now she has to get besides being the Slayer and then having to get like a regular job.
Slay doesn't pay.
Yeah. So, and also it does, as you said, it feels like an episode of the week, filler episode. It definitely feels like a season 1 episode, especially with the design of the rubber demon at the end. And I don't know, there's some... The overall tone of this episode is very off. I think that's probably the reason why it's fairly disliked.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. It's sort of alluring to a danger, then it comes out and then, I don't know, yeah.
Well, they make out that the fast food restaurant is,
the source of the evil.
The source of the evil, pretty
And we never
much.
did find out whose finger that was.
Oh, it was...
The guy got eaten, maybe?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Manny didn't seem too phased about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely a very camp episode. So the people at the actual restaurant are very weird. Everyone's a little bit off, so you sort of it's meant to make you suspect that there's something going on.
It's a misdirection, isn't it? It's saying that it's implying heavily that there's something going on.
Yeah.
With the fast food place
and
establishment itself,
and the fact that there's this high turnover that's this really normal high turnover.
Yeah, which is completely normal for fast food chains. Yeah. Absolutely normal.
Yeah, and the lockers are still full, but everyone's slightly detached and giving very robotic answers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it it's a job where you're just a cog in the machine, I guess, and easily replaceable. I can see why people don't like it. And the monster design is very season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And up until now, we've actually had some pretty good makeup and visuals for all of the monster of the weeks that we've had. It's kind of jarring to go back to that really campy rubber monsters again.
Yeah.
And they didn't really lean into the bad CGI either. Sometimes they did. But we've gone back to rubber puppets.
I can just see someone doing a Muppet sort of thing sticking their hand out. I thought it was quite hilarious, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do the summary, and I want to hear more about that. Willow updates Xander and Anya on the trio's disappearance. Anya, as always, stresses about the importance of hard work and money just as Buffy arrives in uniform for her fast food job. At the Doublemeat Palace, Buffy endures a bizarre training video before manager Manny introduces her to her unenthusiastic co-workers. She's required to eat a double meat medley, a burger with layers of beef and chicken, and grows suspicious of its secret ingredient but gets no answers. She struggles at the counter, overwhelmed by the complexities of orders, and later sneaks into the back room to investigate but is caught by Manny. Spike shows up, teasing Buffy about working a normal job and suggesting she might not even be human anymore. Though his chip allows him to hurt her, she refuses to believe it. He offers to support her financially, but she stands firm. Meanwhile, Gary, a co-worker, goes into the alley and is attacked by something or someone he recognises. With Gary missing, Buffy is reassigned to the grill. She again questions a secret ingredient but gets nowhere. Elsewhere, Xander is ambushed by a vengeance demon, but Anya diffuses the situation. It's just her old friend Halfek invited to the wedding. On her break, Buffy hooks up with Spike in the alley, though she seems disinterested. Meanwhile, Amy visits Willow, subtly pushing her towards magic by giving her an unsolicited power boost. Back at work, Buffy spots a human finger in the grinder and jumps to the conclusion that burgers are made of people. She storms into the dining area, frantically warning customers, only to be fired. Anya and Halfrek discusses Anya's relationship, leading Anya to question things. At the magic box, Buffy presents a severed finger and a burger as proof of her theory, but before she can explain, Xander eats the burger. Willow, struggling with Amy's magic, helps analyze a sample while Buffy breaks into the restaurant after hours. Inside, Buffy finds blood and Manny's severed foot. Meanwhile, Willow's tests reveal the meat is just celluloid. Buffy then encounters the Wig Lady with a monstrous-like appendage that sprays her with a paralysing liquid. The creature gleefully explains it preys on employees. Willow arrives in time to warn Buffy the burgers aren't human, but plant-based. She then severs a demon's appendage and shoves it into the meat grinder, killing it. The next day, Amy returns to borrow things, but Willow, realising her manipulations, shuts her down. Buffy returns her uniform to the new manager, Lorraine, but gets her job back in return for staying silent on a composition of the double meat medley. The end. So can I just say, like, her keeping the secret of the meat, like, seems really dumb. Like, aren't people going to work this out? And why would they lie about this? Like, what are they... Like, it almost made out she was, like, doing a good thing, like putting less meat in there is, like, good. But then why not brag about it?
Well, no, because it's not that there's less meat. It's more that it's mixed with, like, rendered beef fat. So it's probably worse for you than...
Oh, okay. It's even worse. That's why they're lying.
Yeah.
Okay. So many things to unpack with that. Why? Okay. But moving on from that. So what do you got, Eddie?
So as I said, this is probably one of the most skipped, disliked episodes of Buffy. People really... Like, I honestly thought it was a universal hatred of this episode. And I actually put it out on social media, which we don't normally do audience participation.
Oh, okay. This is a new thing. I like this. Yeah.
Well, I did put it on Instagram and Threads, but got absolutely nothing. But TikTok came through with quite a few very insightful comments about why this episode is disliked. And funnily enough, some people love this episode.
It's got its defenders, yeah?
There were defenders of this episode, and they had, I was like, oh, like people going, I love it. And it's like asking them, what exactly do you love about it?
Okay. So what do they say, Eddie?
Well, first I'll go through the reasons that I think that this episode is universally or mostly disliked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think that it fits the overall arc, like the overall theme of the season is, that Buffy's in this depression, that she's kind of a bit lost. She doesn't really know what she's doing with herself, and she's entering into this quite self-destructive relationship with Spike. And she's, emotionally numb, so to speak. But I think I've come up with 3 reasons.
Okay.
And then TikTok did manage to back me up on a few of these. The first one is this episode tries to blend satire, horror, and comedy, and it doesn't fully commit to any of them, giving this very uneven, weird tone.
Yeah.
It is that where they're trying to make the mundane terrifying.
Yep.
The second one is the episode is not fun to watch. You do not want to see your main protagonist be pushed further into her depression as she's losing her sense of purpose. So her working this dead-end, minimum wage job, it's not what you want to, she's the Slayer. She's magical. She shouldn't have to be doing every day. She shouldn't have to be working a food service job to get by, to survive, like everyone else. And the third reason, and I think this is what I was already talking about, this episode poses the question, what if the real nightmare isn't demons, but being stuck in a job you hate, barely scraping by? It's a bit too real-life problems for your escapism fantasy show. Like people watch Buffy to escape.
Yeah, I mean the monotonous of working a job like that, it's as I said in the show, it's a high turnover because you don't really have career opportunities in there. I mean, like you have people who obviously get managerial jobs, but they're few and far between, I imagine. You probably have to work there a long time to get that.
Yeah, which they make out like, Manny's been there 10 years. The girl that comes in, she's been there 5 years. I think they're called like lifers, like people.
They'll never leave that job.
Yeah, they'll never leave that job, but they probably can't leave that job because they won't be able to find a job in another place. Like they have too narrow a
field.
Too narrow
work
experience.
field to work in. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of fast food restaurants that could probably hop from one to another. They're probably kind of sought after in some ways.
But then they're all the same kind of. You're still doing the same thing. It's not changing.
No, yeah.
And TikTok backed up most of those. That know what people have mentioned, the penis monster that comes out of the lady's head. So Techhead17 has said it was a filler episode, poorly written and just boring and stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Chaotic Loon has commented, I just hate that the Watchers get paid and not the Slayer. Apparently, it's because the Watcher is supposed to take care of their Slayer's needs, aka pay for things. Giles.
Right.
The Slayer's the one risking her life. And is Giles still being paid to be her Watcher at this point?
Well, we've discussed this before, so we never really given any sort of clues to the financial workings of, what are they called? The Watchers Society?
Watchers Council, yeah. Because if he's still getting paid, like you'd think that he should be giving that money to Buffy.
Well, he kind of outright refused to pay for anything, didn't he? Wasn't that him just walking away because I don't want to be supporting you, or I shouldn't be supporting you?
No, you need to stand on your own 2 feet.
Well, yeah, whatever his reason was, he basically said, I'm not going to support you, and I'm going. See ya.
Yeah.
Going to his castle and...
And funnily enough, doing that will come back to bite him in the ass.
Okay.
Because then he gets upset when Buffy doesn't listen to him.
Dear.
And then there's more people who talk about Giles. The first millennium says Giles has enough money to buy the magic shop and give half of it to Anya, but can't help his Slayer out. And then I've got someone called Raven who is like, hated. It's one of the best ones. So we've got a fan. He says it was camp, made fun of working in fast food, solid killer, was fun.
I mean, I could see the charm to it, I mean, and the misdirection of, as we said, the way all the employees are working, like they were completely zoned out. And of course, Buffy's, Slayer detective nose is twitching and she's looking for clues and danger. She just attracts danger and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And she also has really good instincts, so she knows something's off.
Yeah. But it's funny how she explained all that to Xander, and he's like, yeah, that's just fast food places. That's what they're like. I've done them all before. They're all like that.
Yeah. So I've got Lorena Quick. She says, it's the fact that Buffy was the one that was forced to get a job. Even though Willow was living there rent-free, Buffy was treated so terribly in her own home. There's a few comments like that. A lot of them are like, why wasn't Willow and Tara paying rent?
No, it's a big house, as well.
And Sammy G said, I think it's levels. From her perceived treatment from the others to how she isn't valued as a slayer, while also being a harsh reflection on at least how the US values college grades over experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Jay says it was an insult to Buffy, which goes along with what I'd said about.
Well, it seems quite humiliating as well, like that ridiculous hat she has to wear. I don't really remember any sort of shops or places making their staff wearing ridiculous hats like that. This episode did make me think of Office Space a little bit.
with the
Well, even like with the character, in his 9-to-5 job, and it just seemed to be completely soul sucking, and life was just rotting away for every moment he was being there. And then reflecting on Jennifer Aniston's character with the flair.
Yeah.
How, she was getting in trouble for wearing the minimum amount of flair, where her boss says, that's just the minimum amount, you can wear more. She's like, well, it's 17. Do you want me to wear more? I just want to. It's also that pressure on the employees to be happy and smiley to the customers as well. I mean, that goes without saying, but forcing them to sort of be more expressive just seems to be sort of pushing it a bit with that one, I feel. So that did pop in my mind a little bit, the Office Space work life and the mundane experiences that we all have to go through to get paid to do something.
Anyway, I've got KCG puts it well. It puts the viewer in the POV of working a dead-end fast food job, of facing the reality that life isn't what you thought it would be. And it makes people uncomfortable. People watch shows, TV, movies to escape reality. And in the Buffy verse, where fantasy is reality, the mundane realization of that is far too familiar and uncomfortable.
I mean, you could even compare that like with the Body episode. Like that's...
But then people love it for its realistic portrayal.
Yeah, it does the realisms instead of just, see your dead, hospital, funeral, friends get together. That'll be the normal structure. You're seeing the in-between parts of just how... just the real parts of life that, you don't see on TV. And in some ways, like the Body, it can work really well. And just maybe in this episode, it doesn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, true. I've got KMMR saying, I love this episode. It's sad to see Buffy, our queen, in that place, but the episode reaches back to the season 1 style creature features. I think it was great.
Well, it's interesting we don't even get any sort of story of what the creature was. Like, it's just a demon, I suppose.
Yeah.
We don't really get anything other than that.
Well, it's also that thing where she discovers the demon, but she normally in those situations they're doing research. They're searching for this demon. So it does go back to that kind of the mystery episodes of season 1 where she's trying to find out, what the demon is and, what's happening. She's got to work it out. She's got to work out the mystery.
Put the pieces together.
And
then, she doesn't really do anything other than finding out that the meat's got whatever's in it. And it just basically just falls into lap. Oh, I'm a demon, and it's the one you least suspect, the sweet old lady.
It's always the one you least suspect.
Yeah. So Edie Cook also had a good point. It says, he hated to see our hero doing a job that would define most of us as failures, not our Buffy.
Poor Buffy.
Yeah. So Sabrina says, I kind of love the class analysis of this episode. It doesn't matter the incredible social value she's creating as a slayer. It doesn't create profit, so she has to do this BS as well, which I think was a really good point. That was the last one. I wasn't going to go through all of them, but most of them were the monster. The monster's weird. The visuals of the meat, I think, put a lot of people off. The design of the monster.
There's something always unsettling about watching a meat grinder, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's always something that the noise that it makes, way it crushes, and it just gives you such creepy, unsettling thoughts just watching it. I saw a video of like a metal compactor that was like grinding up like engine blocks and stuff like that, and it's just devouring them, and it was just so uneasy to watch. I mean, it's just bits of metal, and like you see like the back of a truck, just grabs it with his teeth, and it's just nothing in seconds.
Yeah. Well, what I was also going to say is, why is there a meat grinder there? Because fast food restaurants, it all comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all pre-packaged.
Well, this place is a little more classy. They grind their own meat.
Yeah, except that they make a big deal about this secret meat process thing that they do, but then they have a meat grinder. Like all of that stuff is done off-site.
That is
in huge, big,
it was
packing
it was there
facilities.
for the unsettling part of the episode to be that because it does sort of pan on the meat grinder too, and it's purposely doing that to sort of unsettle you. Because
but also, it's revealed that there is no meat in the burgers, so why are they grinding up chunks of meat? Sorry, that's just me poking holes in
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's easy to do. And also for the grand finale at the end of seeing the creature go in there and that god-awful, whatever the hell that was coming out. Hopefully they throw out that meat grinder after that.
Yeah, and maybe, look, the episode does kind of look down on food service workers.
I don't know if it really looks down at them, because you do see that older lady working there, so you kind of figure, she's quite old and she's working at this place, so so it's either really young people or really old people working there.
Yeah.
Because that's the only work they can sort of get. So I don't know if it was really mocking them in any way.
Okay.
I will mention because a video I was watching recently, the Papa Meat channel. Great guy if you ever watch his stuff. Eddie doesn't like it. But he was talking about training videos or induction videos for fast food places. And there's some...
They make fun of that in this episode.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Well, I think they were showing her they make the meat.
And then you hear
the cows
you hear the
grinding away and getting slaughtered. I don't think they'd show those, but there are some classic real ones if you want to see. Wendy's apparently has some really good training videos on YouTube you could check out that he was talking about. It just got a whole song about how you fill up the cups for drinks. Where you put you scoop. There's a whole rap song about it. Then there's the coffee one. There's the coffee song, which is, and these videos, by the way, have like millions of views. They're quite popular. There's one guy singing about the coffee top, and all the comments are saying that this guy was not paid enough to sing this song. He's way too good for it. For one of the songs, it's like a classic sort of a video on there. Definitely worth checking out. It reminded me of one, the gas and fuel one. Now that one wasn't real; it was a send up, but it's hilarious. The gas and fuel training video. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, with the baby,
with the baby in the fridge, and the what was it? The kerosene lighter fluid in the microwave.
Was it the light, the wires in the ceiling?
Oh, the wires in the ceiling.
You've got to brush them
with the broom.
Brush them with the broom.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the whole robbery scene that I think Quentin Tarantino directed. It got really dark. Classic video, the gas and fuel one. It gets taken down, but someone puts it up there. So they're great videos. Yeah. Something.
So do you think it's sort of a criticism on those minimum wage jobs?
I suppose it's taken a hit at them, I guess. Well, apparently Joss Whedon revealed that the portrayal of fast food industry within a Doublemeat Palace caused sponsors to threaten to pull support. Apparently this is a quote. The only thing we've ever actually been stopped or asked to stop doing was the fast food run. When Buffy worked at the fast food joint, it made the advertisers very twitchy. So apparently the most controversial thing we ever had Buffy was a hamburger and chicken sandwich.
Well, that was the other thing. Like, you sort of realise how bad shrinkflation has become.
Those
How
burgers were massive.
fucking big are those burgers?
Yeah. Well, American burgers are always quite massive. That's like their thing. But yeah, but fast food joints, I mean, like he had like 2 hands on that burger and he needed 2 hands, Xander. And he's a big boy, you know, he's got big hands. Yeah.
But that thing was like the size of Buffy's head. Like, like it's massive. Like they were massive. Like, yeah.
Cheeseburgers these days, they're just like a big dim sim pretty much.
They're getting small. No, I feel like they're getting smaller and smaller as well.
Yeah.
So.
Name and shame them.
There were also the other thing is that that's not the only plot line going throughout this episode. You've got the plot line with Willow and Amy.
Yes.
And, you know, Amy really trying to get Willow back into magic, like being the bad influence. What do you call it when
enabler?
Yeah, like trying to enable Willow into magic.
She's obviously she knows she's struggling. She lost a relationship over it. Here, have some magic. Which also made me realise that, I mean, you know, she's trying to quit magic, so to hang in a magic shop. I mean, like if you're trying to quit alcohol, let's go
work in.
Let's go hang out at the bar for a bit. Thanks, guys. It's really helping.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good mirroring of why people in the real world often struggle with addiction is because people around them enable them. And Amy doesn't see a problem in overusing magic.
And what did she give her? It
was like sort of a spell that where Willow would be, I don't even really know what it was. It was like Willow was doing magic, but not doing magic.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have control of the magic she was doing.
I read it. She said something like power in Latin, parasis or something like that. So she just gave her power. It seemed to be like literal, like electricity that she gave her or something.
But yeah, anyway, it was a spell where she was doing. Willow could do magic without doing magic.
Let's do some shots.
But it was like, you know, just have a beer instead of vodka.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just go low alcohol.
Potestas.
Yeah. So, you know, Amy does, you know, reveal her true nature when Willow rejects the friendship pretty much and is just like, get out of my life.
Yeah. Is that the last we see of Amy for a
while?
while?
No, it won't be the last we see of Amy.
Okay.
No, it won't be. And you've also got the sort of this C plot line with Xander and Anya and the wedding.
Yes. She has that strange conversation with her friend. What was it? Halat?
Yeah,
or
Halfrick. Halfrick arrives.
Halfrick.
She will make many more reappearances.
Okay.
Yeah, so Halfrick arrives and yeah. It's kind of
Well, they have that weird conversation where she's like, "Oh, so you're with him? He has nice arms."
Yeah, yeah.
I know what. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Strange compliment.
Well, you have Xander sort of having this weird. I don't know. He kind of sits back and starts doing this weird shifty eye thing in one of the scenes when Willow was like, "Oh yes, you're going to be married to her for the rest of your life," and all of a sudden he gets twitchy about it. And then Halfrick starts pointing out that perhaps Xander's constant criticisms of her aren't that positive. Like it's not a good, like that they don't have a great relationship. Yeah, she's very quick to point out that Xander really doesn't treat Anya very well.
Has he? I haven't noticed that.
Oh, it's hard because he's one of those people that uses constant humour almost as a weapon. So it's just cracking non-stop jokes at her expense.
Wow, you two clearly have some catching up to do. So I'll not be in the apartment.
Oh yeah, and then you've got the plot with bloody Spike. And he pretty much comes in and he's like, well, maybe you just, you know, he can...
Offers to be a sugar daddy, does he?
Yeah, offers to be a sugar daddy. It's just like, I can get you money. If you need money, I'll get you money.
She doesn't want his money.
Well, I think the other thing that we're overlooking is that Buffy needs a job because she's got social services after her. So she
Yeah.
needs to prove that she can look after her sister and, you know, run a household pretty much.
Yeah.
So overall, this episode, what do you sort of think of it?
Oh, we're up to the
Yeah. Oh no,
overall.
I was just
Yeah, I mean, look, it was all right, I guess, for a Buffy episode. I had to rewatch it a couple of times because I kind of forgot most of it. Needed to be fresh in my head. At some points, it also reminded me, like inside the shop, inside the restaurant. I know there was an episode of Freddy's Nightmares where they were in a fast food joint, and I can't remember. I think a guy got shot at the drive-through window, then his girlfriend got shot. I don't know. That also popped in my head for some reason.
okay.
The way it was shot and lit, I think, is sort
Yeah.
of what triggered that. I don't know what else to add to that, but it
So-
just popped in my head.
So yeah, I do feel the episode has tried to lean into like the psychological horror,
Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah,
but the more terrifying thing isn't a monster. It's actually like the dead end job with no future is meant to be the
it's the real monster.
is the real monster.
Yes, devouring us all.
Yeah. Also, a bit of a critique on minimum wage jobs, corporate monotony, and the dehumanization in the workforce, and the exaggerated horror elements play into, you know, kind of the urban legends about fast food.
Yeah.
So,
It was a bit cheesy, the scene where he sees where the guy goes outside and then sees the monster. He's like, "Oh, how are you? What are you so happy about?" I see.
I see. Well, I think you better drop it. Okay, people who haven't watched The Simpsons.
The Who Shot Mr. Burns episode. Yeah, it's a very we're doing that, are we? You know, okay.
I think you better drop it. Yeah, and the very Soylent Green,
yeah.
scene of Buffy going, "It's people."
Silent Green is people!
Yeah. All right. Have you seen this episode?
No, definitely hadn't seen this episode. Though I don't know if I would remember seeing it.
Yes. Well, you struggled seeing it while you were actually sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
All right. What rabbit hole did you go down?
Not really a rabbit hole, but the Manny the manager, the actor who played him, just looks so familiar. Look familiar?
No,
Of course he would. He's been in so many movies. Of course he looked familiar. But I was trying to think. It's usually when you have a familiarity with an actor, there's usually a specific role that you remember them from. So if you dare look on his IMDb, his name is...
You mean his name isn't Manny the manager?
It's not Manny the manager. It's Brent Hinkley.
Well, that doesn't rhyme with manager.
No relation. Well, he's been acting since like the 80s, and he's doing all like the standard TV shows. We got
Law and Order.
we got Highway to Heaven. I'm going further back than that.
Jesus.
Knots Landing. Remember Knots Landing?
No.
21 Jump Street. He was in Jacob's Ladder. He's actually done. I think he's good friends with Tim Robbins.
Okay.
He was in Bob Roberts, so he was in a few Tim Robbins movies. Silence of the Lambs. He was in that. I think he's one of the investigators.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a FBI guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Falling Down. He was in that as the Whammy Burger manager, coincidentally.
Wow.
So, yeah, he really leaned into the typecast of being a fast food manager. Sequest, X-Files. But the one that I remembered, it was Ed Wood.
What was he in Ed Wood?
So remember Ed Wood's sort of gang of misfits, and there was one guy. It was one of those guys, and specifically, I remember the scene where he goes up, he approaches Bela Lugosi and asks for an autograph while they're doing filming, and he says something like, "Oh, you're my favorite movie where you played Boris Karloff's sidekick," and that's when he loses his shit at him because he thinks he's better than Boris Karloff because the character of Dracula was suave and difficult to play, and Boris Karloff was just a monster. Though ironically, he would actually go on to play the Frankenstein monster in one of those movies. So I remembered him from that, and which coincidentally we can link back to Buffy. Martin Landau is Juliet Landau's father.
Yeah. Juliet Landau's also in Ed Wood.
Drusilla. Oh, yeah, and Drusilla's in it too. So, yeah, there you go. There's a connection to Buffy in there. Gone full circle. Yeah, so it looks like he retired from acting about 2013. I thought, did he pass away? I couldn't find anything, but looks like he was like doing musical stage shows and stuff, but probably not big ones that we heard of. But yeah. So that's his career. And that was my rabbit hole.
Okay.
Of thoughts. So into the question time, Eddie.
Let's go. Question time.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay, Jared.
Yep.
Let's get into question time. Which character was your favourite?
I did like Manny the manager, actually. He seems so sinister and like he's up to something. He's up to something. No, he's just really boring. Poor guy.
And she's like, he really likes to mention that Manny the manager thing.
And Buffy didn't seem phased finding the severed foot on the ground, did she?
Oh.
But she was walking around with it in that scene. She's walking around with the severed foot.
She didn't have any issues with the finger either. Like if I found a finger in a meat grinder, I'm not picking it up and walking over and going, I found this.
Yeah. But like she's like just casually walking around and like she's got a phone in her hand or something.
Yeah, she does it with the finger as well.
Well, no, the finger, she runs around and alerts people. I don't know. It's just weird. But a severed foot's a bit more, I don't know. Yeah.
That might be a hint of who my favourite character was. Helfrick.
Helfrick. Okay.
I love a lady who's going to point out Xander's flaws. Yes. We love Helfrick.
Yeah, you do.
All right, Jared, which character do you love to hate?
I gave it to Amy this week. That was a bit mean, like just giving her magic when she didn't want any magic.
Yeah.
I don't want any magic.
It's
like I don't want any alcohol. You just go over and just get a funnel and just pour it down the throat. Here, have all the alcohol you want. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much just saying, hey, I'm not drinking, and then pouring them a glass of alcohol, or pouring them a soft
pouring
drink.
it down their throats. That's what she did. I mean, that'd be pretty messed up if you did that.
Yeah. Oh no, pretty much. Well, what you do is, here's a soft drink.
Yeah.
But have alcohol in it, but you don't know until you've taken a.
You can hide vodka pretty well.
Not that well. Yeah, I've got Amy. Trying to drag Willow back into doing magic because she wants a magic friend that she can do magic with and be magical with.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, she's also kind of mean to Willow as well. Like, starts going, well, all that time you spent not turning me back. Like, kind of blaming Willow for the situation she created for herself. Like, you have to remember, Amy turned herself into that rat. That was the whole problem.
Well, it was that or burning at the stake. So,
well, it's that thing where I think like the law of witchcraft is that only a witch can undo her own spells. Like that was sort of in the first season established that witches can.
Plot hole.
Well, that's why it took Willow so long to work out how to undo the spell.
It just came to her one day. Yeah, very convenient.
But it took her a long time to work that out. Okay, LOL moment.
It's a hand puppet, like it's popping out
I've got that.
at the end.
I think we both let out a little chuckle at that, and because it pops up and Willow screams and chucks it back in.
And it's just like a sock puppet, really, wasn't it? The way it just pops up, and you can see the guy just shaking it in his hand. And his reaction would have been so hard not to laugh at that when they're filming it. She's like, "Oh God, what am I doing?" Yeah,
the little jump scare. I do like that. Favorite fight scene?
Well, we only had the one fight scene, I guess, with Buffy and the creature.
The wig lady.
Wig lady creature, yeah.
And Willow.
Penis head lady.
Willow doing the missed me. And then chopping it. What's that from? That's like a callback to...
I don't know.
Anyway. Favorite scene?
Well, I guess the working zombies scene was quite... I actually kind of like that. Like... Also playing into the, there's something weird with this place and they're all being mind controlled by the food or something like that they're insinuating.
Do you want to look in my ears? Or you have to work a double shift after these 8 hours. I have to work another 8 hours.
8 hours? God, a 16-hour shift at a fast food place. My God. Telling me it's a high turnover.
Yeah. I do like when Willow pretty much tells Amy to F off.
Yeah.
She is very stern in her wording of what you did was wrong. Stay away from me. Because Amy wants her as a friend. Like, and you can see that Amy really wants her as a friend.
Oh, she just wants her pellets.
Well, there was that weird thing where she keeps coming around with these weird excuses to see her as well. Like, she came around to get the cage, and then the next time she came around was to steal cleaning supplies. Yeah. All right. What is your least favourite scene?
Well, I mean, you say least favourite scene, but yeah, the creature in the meat grinder at the end was pretty unsettling, I felt.
Is it just the goop coming out?
Yeah, the goop coming out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it because the goop coming out kind of looked a little CGI, like they had CGI'd the goop?
I don't think they did. It looked like maybe they put fish in there or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of CGI.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd bother. Like, why spend $10,000 on a shot where you just like shove some whatever crap you want in there?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't like when Buffy runs out into the restaurant doing her little, it's people. Soylent Green is people.
Well, she jumps to the conclusion a bit too early.
Yeah. And gets fired for it. Favorite quote, Jared?
I guess my quote is Buffy and Spike. And she's like, I'm working, go away. And he's like, yeah, and I choose to be in the consumer service profession and I'm a consumer. Service me. And she gave him a good old service in the end, didn't she?
Yes. Mine's Phil the grill guy. And they're talking about the grease. How it's gonna get everywhere. And he's like, once I noticed I couldn't hear and I went to the doctor. He said it was grease. It had made a plug.
And he's like covered in baby oil too, that guy, isn't he?
Fully greased up the guy as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. They made sure he looked very, very greasy. Who gets the wooden spoon?
I gave it to Amy.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spiking your friend's drink.
Not good.
Nah, it was pretty piss poor.
I went with Xander because he was just acting very immature in this episode. And he eats the people burger.
Well, you didn't know.
All right. Who's the MVP of the episode?
Oh, I think Willow's the MVP.
Yeah, Willow.
Yeah.
Willow saves the day and she does chemistry instead of magic
Yeah.
to work out that it's not meat. And the last question, what do you rate this episode out of 10 using something from the episode?
I gave it 3 severed feet.
Okay. I went 4 out of 10 minimum wage job.
I'll stick with my severed feet.
Okay. Well, I could have gone severed fingers and then it would have been awkward. There were lots of different things you could have done for this. Could have done wigs, penis, heads, appendages.
I know, that's what stuck with me the most, I think. And her just walking around with it. There was something unsettling with that too. She didn't need to walk around with it. Like, she could have put it down.
Well, that's the other thing is that this monster sprayed like a venom as well.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's not really how paralyzing agents work. Like, it's not like she
No.
breathed it in or anything. It just kind of...
I kind of missed it the first time because the first time it was more of a mist. It sprayed, and then at Willow it was like a stream of piss or something. It squirted at her.
No, it was a stream that hit.
Was it?
That hit Buffy.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was so quick though. I had to watch it. Maybe they CGI'd that because it looked a bit weird.
Yeah, but again, like that's not really how that works. But
Yeah. Anyway,
anyway,
we don't want to get into the lore of,
I don't
of
know.
the
But when
penis
it
monster.
was also biting her shoulder, I think that just looks so weird. The creature biting her shoulder.
it
I'm
seemed
like,
like
how
it's-
is that thing ever going to?
We're
like,
going to be here a
actually-
long time if she's going to start like just nibbling on her shoulder. Like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Like you think it'd be like a snake where it like consume the whole person in one go or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, let's not dwell on this monster lore. Okay. In fact, let's never ever speak of this monster ever again.
Oh, this monster will come up again. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God. All right. All right, Eddie. Well, I think we're at the end of the episode. Is there anything more you wanted to add in last minute?
Nope.
No. All right. So, do you want to wrap it up?
All right.
Let's wrap it up. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to us tonight. We are Nerd Subculture. My name is Jared.
I'm Edwina.
And if you like what you listen to, you can listen to more Edwina.
Wow. I was just going to say Nerd Subculture is an independent podcast and we'd love your support. Help others find us by rating and reviewing the episode. Subscribing or following on your favourite podcast platform and sharing it with your friends. You can also connect with us on TikTok, Instagram, Threads and YouTube. And if you want to support the show even more, check out our merch store. Just hit the link tree on our socials.
All right. And send me money. Lots of money. All right. Till next time. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, you two clearly have some catching up to do. So I'll not be in the apartment.